right, guys. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on today. We got prelim NFP data called the non-farm employment change. It drops at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time, so that's coming out today. We also have ISM Services PMI at 10. Oof, dude, I hurt my back yesterday, man. Like, it's hard for me to turn my head. Yeah. So stock futures and markets are mostly up today, buoyed by strong performance in tech. Specifically, HPE saw a 6% increase in pre-market due to strong demand in AI servers and hybrid cloud services. NVIDIA also continued its rise up. It is currently at $142 a share. Yeah, we also have Broadcom, AMD, and some other tech stocks rising this morning, dragging the market up with it. So we did have OECD lower their U.S. growth outlook. So the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development reduced its U.S. economic forecast to 1.6% GDP for 2025, down from 2.8% last year, citing the impact of escalating trade tensions. We also had some Fed members speaking, including Fed President Raphael Bostic. He emphasized a cautious approach to monetary policy due to uncertainty stemming from recent trade policies and inflation and employment reports. Global stock markets saw a big rise on Wednesday. Growing optimism over easing U.S.-China trade tensions and recent shifts in South Korea. Asian and European indices followed Wall Street's positive trend and sympathy going up mostly. Gold prices went down a little bit after other markets found some stability this morning. But Meta's almost up to $700. Microsoft's at $460s. We got Google at $170, roughly $168s. Palantir's still over $130, still looking pretty good. And again, we got the prelim NFP data. The last prelim NFP showed up much worse than expected. It showed up at 60K. What was the last? Yeah, we don't have Jolts today. Jolts was yesterday. Jolts yesterday showed up stronger than expected at 7.4 million. Today we have ADP employment. Last time it was 62. We also have non-farm payrolls. Last time was 177. So, but the last prelim NFP data was worse. It was 62,000 versus 110,000 expected this time. We also have ISM services expected over 50 at 52.1. Last time was 51.6. So they are expecting a strong services report today. So, oof, dude, it's hard for me to turn my head, man. Like, I messed my head up, dude. My back. It hurts to look down. That's what hurts. It hurts to look down. MongoDB. Do we have some earnings today? Let me see. Yeah, we got Dollar Tree. It came out BDPS beat revenue. Bad growth though. Sprinkler. Thor Industries BDPS beat revenue. Genesco BDPS beat revenue. Rev Group BDPS beat revenue. VersaBank missed EPS beat revenue. Still waiting on the other ones, but and then today in the evening we got MongoDB. We got Five Below. Not huge earnings, but worthwhile watching, I think. Still important to watch. All right, guys. Hey, what's up, Curtis? How you doing, brother? What's up, Femi? How you doing, man? Rojas, what's up, brother? Oh, dude, I was training yesterday, man, and I was training yesterday, and I was paired up with like a pretty new white belt. He's a good guy, though. He's like a kind of like a friend at the gym, but he's almost brand new white belt. You know, I've only seen him at maybe like 3 classes. And so we were drilling my favorite sequence in jiu-jitsu, which is full guard. I collect an arm. I bring the elbow to the middle of my chest. And then I invert and I hook a leg. And then I throw my hips to the side and then land up on top and then finish the armbar. My favorite sequence in jiu-jitsu. I use this type of like, it's like a mix between like a flower sweep or it's like a mix between like a flower sweep and a pendulum sweep, but it's my favorite sweep in jiu-jitsu. It really is. And this white belt started giving me full resistance and drilling, you know. So I ended up just tapping him a couple times, but somewhere along the lines, I hurt myself. This is the first time I've really been hurt in jiu-jitsu the whole time I've been training. And I felt okay at first, but then now it hurts to look down. Anybody know what I should do? It hurts to look down. What's up, Allison, Yowzer, Curtis, Amadei, Ray, ST, Sue? What's up, man? What's up, guys? All right. Anybody know what I should do? It hurts to look down. I'm hurting right now. Apple. Why is Apple down so much this morning? Hold on. There's some news for Apple here. Let me check this out. There's got to be something going on with Apple. News is still pretty light, but China-made EV sales fell 15% year over year in May, plus 0.5% lifted Q division to 221. China weighs mega order of smartphone. Counterpoint Research cuts its 25 global smartphone shipment growth. Apple is down 1%. It was downgraded at Needham on threats to near-term growth is what happened. So Apple minus 1% downgraded at Needham on threats to near-term growth. That is what's going on with Apple. Downgraded. That must have been why it dropped about an hour ago. Because this is a pretty big drop from 203s all the way down to 201s. On a percentage basis, it's about $3 a share in a $2 stock, which would mean this is about a 1.5% drop. You know, it's down about 1% right now. But yeah. Just in the math in my head, it's about a 1.5% drop pretty quickly. Is that just from a downgrade? Let me see. Yeah, Needham downgrades Apple to hold, maintains price target of 225. Apple has, quote, at least 2 years before losing customers despite its several AI missteps, says Gene Munster. Couple bad catalysts for Apple coming out today, but they say Nvidia is going to overtake Microsoft as the world's most valuable company with a $3.4 trillion market cap as Morgan Stanley reaffirms top pick status. Yeah, I tried cold treatment yesterday. I've been taking ibuprofen. Good morning. I am losing over 50% since I went on QQQ puts on Friday and didn't come out on Monday morning. So why are you shorting the Q? You know? I mean, listen, I don't know what the Q's going to do, personally. But you're basically shorting the NASDAQ 100, and that's a risky thing. I mean, the longer you hold that position in theory, it doesn't mean it's always true. But in general, the longer you hold that position, the less likely you are to make money. And so, be careful, bro. I don't know what, the Q might crash tomorrow. I don't know. But just be careful, you know. I mean, a short-term short's fine, I guess. I don't know what it's going to do. Not an investment professional, you know. Not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. Can't guarantee anything. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Don't copy me. Have no idea what I'm talking about. But with that said, be careful. Hey, what's up, Pawn? I'd rest similar injury in football, let inflammation subside. Yeah, it hurts, dude. Like, it hurts at the base of my neck. Or no, at the top of my neck. Or no, at the base of my neck, at the top of my spine. And the pain, like, goes out into my shoulder blades. It must have happened when I was inverting. Well, it's pretty even on both sides, I would say. It definitely hurts when I turn my head to the left. That hurts. But I would say it's a little bit on both. All right, guys, so I'm thinking about buying this dip. We're right at the 200 exponential here. Should I? I don't know. Here's the NQ. We've had a pretty good run on this account this week, though. The trend looks heavy here, though, is the only thing. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I really wanted to roll. I was kind of disappointed. So, like, I went to class. It was no-gi. And so we honestly, which is like what I'm usually the best at, is no-gi. And like we had like 15 people there, which was a lot, you know. And so I was excited to get to train with all the new people. And I love rolling. Like rolling's sparring's my favorite part of training. But like one of my main coaches, he was like, he saw that I was hurt and he was like, hey, look, he was like, just play top game. See if, see how bad it is. He was like, I'll roll with you, but just stay on top. He was like, I'm not going to really attack anything. Just try to stay on top and see how it goes. And I tried to do that. And within a minute, I couldn't do it. I was just like, hey, I can't do this. You know, I heard like a crack almost, it felt like, but eesh. All right. Should I buy this dip? I'm thinking about it. I think I'm going to here. I'm going to, because we got an easy risk level underneath us. Now, it's going to be a very small position. And we've had like multiple green days in a row at this point. So we're going to keep it small. See if we bounce at the 200 exponential. It almost feels too easy of a trade, though. And sometimes the really easy trades just don't work out. Yeah, stretch for sure. Yeah, so I think the market's just already priced in tariffs. Could be a buy the rumor, sell the news event type of thing. I'm going to add to this 2 micro contracts. See if we retrace back up quickly. Here we go. That's better. See if we go higher. Hey, there we go. We're in a very tight range right now, though. And we do have the prelim NFP data dropping in about 45 minutes or so. 45 minutes. So I'll try to hold this break even now. But what we're getting is a very sideways, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles of sideways trend. But since we pushed up enough, I can hold this break even and just cut it if it goes against me. Yeah, I've never really heard of that stock, Hollow. It looks like a pump and dump, personally. been hyper split. You know, just looks terrible. I'm not putting money in that thing. I'm sorry. All right, we're gonna take half off right there. There we go. Look at that. Oh, we got rejected up there. I could add to this back. I'm gonna try to. We got 2 micros back again. I just want to see if we fill some of this gap. That's a quick rejection here, but sometimes like we'll put these big up wicks in and then we'll follow it back up some. So yeah, we gave ourselves a good chance to make money in it, but I'm gonna reduce my size in this a little bit there. Today's the tariff deadline, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it right here. We're green on the day. Are we red? Oh, I guess we're basically flat, but we got our break even. It just turned on us. Yeah, it hurts, dude. This thing freaking hurts. We try buying it back down here. There we go. I just want to see if it pops back up there. Yeah, it hurts, man. It's probably the most it's hurt since I've been training. Like it doesn't feel good. There we go. We're slightly green now, but it keeps turning right back against us here. So now we're green on the day, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad long when it pulled back to the 200 EMA, but I don't like this. I'm getting out right now just because I don't like this. It's too much. Like, I like this. I like the dip down to the 200 exponential. That's all good. But I don't like this because that just shows a lack of interest. Today is the deadline. Yeah, I mean, I still think it'll probably go up, but risk management, I'm just going to trade small. Oh, all right. Yeah, so today marks the official implementation of the 50% tariffs on imported steel and aluminum into the U.S. These tariffs announced by the president double the previous 25% rate, and they took effect at 12:01 Eastern time. It affects most U.S. trading partners, including suppliers in Canada and Mexico. There's a UK exemption temporarily exempt, maintaining the 25% rate until at least July 9th, pending the finalization of a trade agreement. And the U.S. administration has requested best offers for trade negotiations from trading partners to avoid broader tariffs on other goods set to begin next month. It's caused disruptions, specifically in aluminum. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's not like the end of the world, but tariffs, but All right, so now we're back under the 200 exponential. We're watching Apple a lot here, though. Yeah, it's all good, Sam. Oof. I shorted the Q nasdaq because I thought that tech led this rally and that it was overextended compared to the rise in the market. Maybe you might be right, bro, but I would argue that tech has been extended for years. And so, hey, what's up, Vegas? Hey, good morning, bro. Yeah, I would argue that tech's been extended for years. But again, I have no idea what the NASDAQ's going to do. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Can't guarantee anything. And maybe the crash rips up tomorrow. Or maybe the QQQ rips up tomorrow. I really don't know. I think it could go either way, honestly. And I think the longer you hold it, the less likely you are to make money. As I've said multiple times. Longer you hold that, the less likely you are to make money, brother. All right, so we are ripping up. We're at 21,735s right now. So we did go up a little bit. Where's Bitcoin at this morning? I'm looking at gold. Gold's quiet. Bitcoin. See, this is a dip I might buy too. I'll try to buy in this dip. That's big enough. All right, we'll take 2 micros. See if we retrace back up now. We got a little confirmation in a bullish trend. And so... That's a turn, though, man. I don't know. This almost looks catalyst-driven in news. Look at this candle. I want to let it test the 200 exponential, but I also don't like this at all. We're in small. We got 1 micro contract now, but... yeah, it's just too much. We're down 20 bucks. We'll be all right. Market's too choppy for me, man. It's just faking out over and over again. Core Weave has been flying up. Core Weave. All the way up to 162. What's the PE ratio currently for Core Weave? It's lack of profitability. So Core Weave isn't even profitable. It doesn't even have an EPS. It doesn't even have a PE ratio because it's not profitable yet. Can't even look up. Yeah. Hey, good luck. Good luck, Sam. Hymns. I don't trust Core Weave. I don't know if I'm going to trust it. I would say the reports today are medium impact. Yeah, I would say they're medium impact. It varies. They drop in 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time, we got the NFP prelim data. It's called the non-farm employment change report. Expected at roughly 110. Last time was 62. We had mortgage data show up today. Showed up at 6.92%, a little bit lower than the previous 6.98%, but still pretty freaking high for 30-year mortgage rates by MBA. We got Bostic speaking in 45 minutes as well. We got the Bank of Canada rate decision at 9:45. It's expected at a pause at 2.75. And then we got ISM data at 10 a.m. All right, so maybe I should have held my long, and maybe this big red candle was just a fake out. Looks like that was the case. Just got scared out of the right position. Looks like. So again, the ECB is likely to cut rates again as inflation falls and the U.S. ramps up its trade battle with the European Union. UK's PM Starner says, I'm very confident we'll get U.S. tariffs down in a short period of time. The Chinese minister's information was different, according to the trade chief, Sefcovic, which is EU's trade chief. He said the Chinese minister's information was different, and we agreed we would clarify the rare earth situation as soon as possible. He said, we agreed on how to restructure the focus of our negotiations with the U.S. All right, so look at this pop up here. Is this better music? Do you guys like this music more? You realize Nvidia has a 3.3 trillion market cap and CoreWeave is 57 billion. The non-farm employment change report is a medium-sized report. We'll see how much it moves the markets. If it comes in really polarized up or down, it could move things. If not, it might not. Like, we'll see. It's the prelim payrolls is what it is. Like, it's the early payroll report. So every time we get non-farm payrolls on Friday and unemployment on Friday, like we do this Friday, 2 days preceding that report, we get the non-farm employment change, kind of the prelim payroll data. They can move markets, especially if they are like wildly under or over expected, Too much payrolls means inflation worries. Too little payrolls means economic woes. And so that's kind of the way you want to look at it. If it's much lower than expected, people might panic regarding the economy. If it's much higher than expected, people might fear inflation data. No, it's a good trade, Sam. Good job, brother. All right, so AM earnings, Dollar Tree, BDPS. We got GCO, REVG VBNK. We had a CXM. Robotaxi announcement day would be good. It's not really like, so I wish it was an event. If it was an event, I would stream it. I really would. So if this was like a big event for Tesla, I stream all the big events for Tesla here. This is not a big event. What this is them implementing the robotaxis in Austin on June 12th. Right? So that's what the event is. It is not like a big event. It is just them implementing the robotaxis in Austin on June 12th. Like, that's what this is. It's them implementing the robotaxis. I wish it was some big live streamed event. I would cover it and watch it. What's up, Prime? Whatever channel you have it on, in what regards? You mean this? This right here? I try to tell people the validity of the 200 exponential here, bro. I'm telling you. Like, on a longer term trend perspective, it's powerful, dude. Like, and for whatever reason, it's the best, in my opinion, on a 1 minute chart. Can't guarantee anything. Maybe it doesn't work. I don't freaking know. In my opinion, it's the best on a 1 minute chart. Oh, you're talking about the music. Yeah, this is my old playlist. So I've been streaming on YouTube for a long time. This is a playlist that I've built that is literal days of music. But it's older. This is the better music I have. Sometimes what I'll do, I have two options. Sometimes I'll just stick it on the newest lo-fi music that they have on Epidemic Sounds. Other times I'll go back. What I did this morning is I went all the way back to the old songs that I had on the playlist, arguably the better songs, and I just let the old playlist that I have play, which is a much better playlist in my opinion if you listen to it. Yeah, he meant music, but it's okay. I'm still preaching the 200 exponential. You know, the 200 EMA can show you a couple different things, right? Like, it can show you the trend, which is what it's doing right now. You can kind of see how the 200 EMA shows you the trend. And again, like, sometimes you get people say, oh, well, look, it's not respecting the 200 EMA like this. If it's doing this right here, that means the 200 EMA is still telling you something. What it's telling you is that we're very neutral right now. Like, we're very sideways. If it's crossing over and under the 200 exponential or the volume weighted average price, you can treat the VWAP like this as well. But if it's doing this, it's just telling you it's a sideways neutral trend. If it's holding above it, you can kind of see it's in a nice little bullish trend. If it's respecting it like this, you can kind of see it's in an upward trend and kind of confirm that upward trend. If it's choppy sideways like this, where it's just crossing over, under, over, under, over, under, it's telling you something. It's telling you that we're in a sideways neutral trend. Really easy way to identify trend. And again, for whatever reason, I like it on a 1 minute chart the best. Okay, I'm going to mute this for a second, chat. All right. Sorry, I wanted to kind of clip that and maybe make a video out of it. Let me pull it, send it to Pawn. Yeah, CrowdStrike posted Q1 earnings beat. Q2 sales outlook fell short. Yeah, Bostic's going to be speaking, but really in about 20 minutes, we got the non-farm employment data. And that's relevant data. Yeah, this is just better music, right? Well, the difference is that the other playlist that I have is just the newest music that they put out. So I don't actually handpick the other playlist a lot of the time. It's just random songs that some of them I haven't even listened to. And if I don't like it that bad, I'll just skip it. And some of them I'm just neutral on. This is a playlist of like handpicked songs that I've added on this that are like, hey, that's a good song. Let me add that, you know. It's a little nostalgic for me, though, because I've listened to this playlist for years. Anyways, we're testing the top of the range here. I don't really want to buy it, but I don't really want to short it either. It's too strong, so I think I'm just going to wait. Yeah, Palantir still doing really well. Bitcoin back up to almost 106, but still trying to get up there. Bitcoin falling down a little bit right now. I'm trying to see any more recent news. All right, so the EU Commission urges the European government to speed up implementation of reforms and investments under the EU's recovery plan as August 26th deadline approaches. I don't know if I'd say it's approaching. It's over a year away. So HIMS, big fall yesterday on HIMS. Will HIMS recover? It's a pretty big drop. Turtle power. Palantir up to 133s. So still looks good. If we dip, maybe I'll buy the dip. Nvidia is really what's driving this move, though. If we look at Nvidia is right there testing the highs of the day. I tend to think it's going to test it. Look, I'll go ahead and buy one contract, and I'll take kind of a scale-in approach to where if we dip down to like 147s, 150, I'll add a little bit more. And I'll attack the top of the range. I think Nvidia is right at the previous high of pre-market. I think it wants to test that high. And so we're going to take some size here and try to make some money on this. We've made pretty good money over the last few days, though. So we've got a cushion. Down slightly on the day, but pretty neutral, to be honest. And the range, honestly, even though we're in an upward trend, is pretty small. All right, so we're going to add here. Like I said, try to take some risks. I'm trying to size up in this funded account. We got a couple other funded accounts just sitting on standby, though, to be honest. All right, we're going to add one more here, and then that's it. I'm going to let it test 44 as a risk level, and if that doesn't work, we'll probably switch to a different one and just trade that one for the day. I really wanted to let it test here, but Nvidia is dipping down some. I wanted to give it time, but we'll be all right. We've made really good money on this account for days. Since it's gone so much against me, though, just in terms of risk management, and we bounced back up pretty quickly, I'm going to take a third of that position off just to protect it. This is something I do just for risk management. Like, if it goes really quickly against me, I'm going to take some of it off just so if it does continue down, it's not going to be as significant, as well as it allows me to be a little bit more loose on the remaining position, if that makes sense. So I'll take one more piece off there. There we go. And then we'll leave the half of the position that we were in. I want to see Nvidia bounce, though. Like, what's going to drive this one higher is if Nvidia bounces up with us. All right, guys. We got 15 minutes before the prelim NFP data. So we'll see if we get anything good there. All right, there we go. A little bit more green. There we go. Better. It all depends on what Nvidia does here, though. All right, nice. I'm going to go ahead and take a little piece of this off here just because it went so much in my favor quickly. Add a little bit of size back here. Nice. Take a little bit of size back off. Nice. Take another piece off there. Let the rest ride up. Oh, is the music not back on? My apologies, guys. The music's been on. Here, hold on. Yeah, sorry, chat. Do I want to size back in here? I guess I do. I'm going to take 2 contracts now. I feel like Nvidia wants to break that pre-market high is what it wants. And so I'm going to take some size back here. Kind of flat on this trade total. But I just want to see if it retraces back up. Nice. All right, chat, we got 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. Let me put a timer up. I'm realizing that I don't have a timer up here. Really, we got 12 minutes. There we go. I'm going to take a piece off there. And we're actually green now on the trade. It took a little while, but we did. All right, here's the timer. Let's see if Nvidia gets up there. Yeah, I don't know if the tariff news is going to make the market dip. There we go. Look at that rip. I'm going to go ahead and cut that right there. Yeah, let me do a poll here this morning as well. Does the market continue It's bull run into the opening bell. Yes or no? Still slightly red on the day, but made a bunch back on that trade, so that's good. Courts extended the pause on a legal tariff ruling I read earlier. Yeah, but it might be the courts that they suspended the tariffs. They paused that suspension, I think is what you're probably referencing. But who knows? We got 10 minutes. 10 minutes before the non-farm employment data comes out. Left is futures. Yeah, the volume weighted average price is solid. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, chat. And then tomorrow, what do we have tomorrow? We got jobless claims, non-farm productivity, basically. A little slower. And then Friday, the NFP report's big. So. Nine minutes, chat. 9 minutes. Yeah, I'm on a 1 minute chart here, but I'm also trading on a different screen using a couple different time frame charts. So I'm showing a 1 minute chart just because it's the most recent. It's the most, I mean, I could do shorter term time frames, but I'm never going to. I would much prefer to just do 1 minute chart to let people watch the price action. When is AVGO earnings? Broadcom? They're tomorrow. Interesting. Okay. I don't think AVGO is big enough earnings, to be honest. Maybe it is, but I don't know. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes. What are the types of news that actually have a high impact? Well, it depends on the current economic landscape, to be honest. Right now, tariff news have the biggest impact, but I also think conventionally we got like CPI moves markets, inflation data moves markets, payrolls move markets, labor reports move markets, Fed rate conferences, FOMC conferences move markets. Those are the big ones. And then big Mag 7 earnings move markets. So like Apple earnings, Amazon earnings, Google earnings, Nvidia earnings, of course. Like those are the type of stuff that moves markets. The other ones, services and manufacturing PMI can move markets depending on the landscape. So services and manufacturing can do it. We also have payroll data can move markets, but this is the prelim payroll report. And so, like I said, I think if this report comes in widely over or under expected, that's where it's going to move markets. If it comes in relatively flat, it might be not much. So it just depends on what's going on in the market.
All right, Chad, we got 6 minutes left. 6 minutes. All right, so we asked people, does the market continue its bull run into the opening bell? 76% say yes, 24% say no. Do you guys agree with this? All right, so we went up a little bit and then pulled all the way back down ahead of this report. CoreWeave is interesting. We still got Apple. Apple's down a little bit today on a downgrade. So it dropped a couple percent on a downgrade. Yeah, appreciate the like. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button. We do this live every day right here. We cover all the breaking news. Let you guys see what's going on. We trade live as well. But, yeah. All right, so yeah, today we got the non-farm employment data called the non-farm employment change report is what this is, called the non-farm employment change report. ADP does it. All right, so we're dipping down a little bit. Expects 110K. Previously 62K. I would maybe attack this dip. We got 3 minutes left until this report drops too, so we got a couple minutes left. I would normally buy this pullback, but being so close to this data, I'm gonna wait. We had Jolts yesterday. Jolts was much stronger than expected. And again, we got non-farm employment. We got the Bank of Canada rate decision at 9:45, 15 minutes after the bell. We got Bostic speaking in 45 minutes. So we got some stuff going on, and then we got ISM data showing up as well. All right, let's see if this moves markets, but we got almost exactly 3 minutes. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Catch up on the stream. We appreciate it. And, yeah. You can follow me on x.com at beginner trades. Great way to help support the channel. We cover a lot of the breaking news there, too. What's your opinion on the jobs data? I think the jobs data is good, but it also means we're going to have less of a need to cut rates. And if the market wants rate cuts, it might mean a little bit pushed back rates. If we take a look at bond yields this morning real quick, bond yields are up relative to where they were yesterday at about 4.45%. Yesterday they were at like 4.42. They're up to 4.45. They've been relatively flat and quiet. If we take a look at rate expectations leading into this report, we got a minute and a half left, Chad. A minute and a half left. Rate expectations are less than 2% likelihood of a cut and 99% likelihood of a pause, basically. So yeah, it's pretty improbable that we're going to cut rates. Is it next week? No, it's pretty improbable. It's actually in exactly 2 weeks from now. So we're not going to cut rates in 2 weeks. Probably not, at least. You never know. We got 50 seconds left. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Appreciate the love. And all right, here we go. All right, guys, we got 25 seconds left. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. 25 seconds left. This timer's a little early. About 15 seconds now. 15 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. 10 seconds now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here's the report. All right, guys, 37,000, way lower than expected at 37K. 37K versus 110 expected. 37,000 versus 110 expected here, guys. 37K versus 110K expected. Way lower than expected. Look at this drop in the NASDAQ. Again, 37,000 versus 110 expected. Last time was 60 or 62 or something like that. Way worse than expected here, chat. 37,000 versus 110 expected. And this is what I told you guys. If the non-farm employment data comes in way under or over expected, market might panic. Yeah, and this is precisely what happened. I watch this every time. I understand it. Listen, I know what the non-farm employment data. I know what it needs to do to move markets. It needs to show up either way under or way over expected. 37K is bad. It shows economic weakness. This might actually increase the odds of rate cuts if the non-farm payroll report reflects this, right? So if the non-farm payroll report also reflects economic and labor market weakness, it might move up the likelihood of a rate cut. But man, 37K versus expected 110, previous 62. Yikes. Way worse than expected here, chat, for the non-farm employment data. Way worse. Yikes. 37K. We'll put this data up on screen, but man, that ain't good. 37 versus 110 expected. Man, markets are understandably down. Look at everything kind of turned down with it. We'll see if it holds down here. I mean, that's a big drop. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move, bro. Yeah, I mean, maybe we rebound from here. I don't know. But 37 is pretty low. 37 is pretty low. You know? Yeah. Yeah, 37 is pretty freaking low. Maybe rate cuts mean bullish, but this is a pretty big, steep drop. Thinking about buying this up here. We'll try. I'm going to take one micro contract, though, and then just add to it, but we'll see if we get a rebound. Again, if you want to day trade with me, I'm day trading on Top Step. Most day traders lose. I don't care what anybody else says. Most day traders are going to lose. Doesn't matter where they go, what course they take. Most day traders lose money. You can either fund your own account, thousands of dollars trying to look cool. I'm going to take profit very quickly here since we're very green on this. Maybe buy a little retracement candle. So you can either fund your own account trying to look cool in markets. We're going to get out there too. We're now green on the day, by the way. So you can either fund your own account trying to look cool in markets and probably lose thousands of dollars, or you could try Top Step. Learning to trade in a structured environment like this just makes sense. There's no PDT in futures. You can day trade as much as you want. No PDT rule. They give you a 50K demo for the base one, 100K, 150K for the other two. If you can make 3K in profit on the 50K demo without losing 2K first, reasonable 3-to-2 ratio, they fund you 50K as long as you follow their rules and conditions. And you want to confirm this all with them. But as long as you follow that stuff, they fund you 50K. You get to keep your first 10K in profit and then 90% split afterwards. That's pretty similar split to funding your own account. The risk is if you fail it, you're out $50 versus losing tens of thousands of dollars sometimes funding your own account. Learning in a structured environment with limited risk like that just makes sense. And most day traders lose regardless of where they go, including here. But it's a lot cheaper to lose here than it is to fund your own account tens of thousands of dollars and lose that like a lot of new traders end up doing. It just makes sense, and they're the most legit. They've paid out hundreds of millions. They fund thousands. The rules are some of the best in the trading game, and if you use my link, make sure you go to Top Step X. You get 0 commission as well. Again, no PDT rules, just a beautiful way to learn. Remember though, chat, before I post the link, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. Can't guarantee anything. You want to confirm it all with them. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance, have limitations, chat. And in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies, very similar to day trading stocks. There's the link right there. So we did get a quick rebound back up. I ended up cutting it very quickly, got out almost at the top of this candle, and now we just broke lows again. So the momentum's heavy, but I still think we might rebound back up. But who knows? Not an investment professional. Don't copy me. Definitely biased. You know, I'm biased. They pay me money. They're an affiliate of mine, so I'm biased, chat. Understand that. Yeah, look at this crack in lows here. So we just cracked this low again, but again, I'm still kind of confident in a dip buy. I think there's a big reaction for prelim payroll numbers. And sometimes, like, the NFP report can be wildly different from the prelim report. So I'm still kind of interested in buying this dip if we can get a cheap entry here, but we'll see. We'll see. The dump is because the prelim payroll non-farm employment change data showed up at 37,000. 37K. Way worse than the 110 expected. It's the 18th. All right, let's see if we can buy this dip now again. Let me go ahead and buy into this and then maybe add to it again. See if we can scale in on this pullback, catch a retracement. Definitely a little risky catching a falling knife here, but we could play with it. Yikes. Maybe I bought in too soon. Yeah, I'm going to cut most of this off here. I have to. We've had multiple green days in a row now. I just don't want to get stuck in this if it doesn't rebound back up some. I mean, it's definitely brutal action here, but we'll switch to our other funded account and play with that. I just don't want to get too stuck in this one. There we go. That's better. See if we get a pop back, maybe. Market keeps tumbling on this report, though, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this out there. If you're critiquing me for having a losing day, but you don't say anything when I have a green day, which was the last like 3 days in a row, you might get booted out of here. Just a heads up. We don't need that type of negativity, you know? Like, everybody's gonna lose. Like, I'm gonna lose sometimes. Markets are gonna lose. I think buying this dip based off of a couple things made sense. And yeah, we were wrong. It's okay. We'll be all right. I think you gotta just understand, though, like, variance is so high with this type of stuff. I really do believe that what I've seen a lot is I've seen really scary prelim NFP data. And then I've seen the actual non-farm payroll report, which comes out this Friday, show up wildly stronger than expected and kind of pump fake the whole market out. And so yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna lose sometimes. It's funny because like I always joke around where it's like I could have a green day, silence, green day, silence, green day, silence, red day, you suck, bro. Right here, they're like, you're terrible. It's like, dude, y'all are silent all this area, you know. UVXY waking up. Isn't that an inverse ETF though? Is it the UVXY gonna go the opposite? Yeah. So we'll see. I still kind of want to buy this, but you know, it's a big drop for a prelim NFP data. Yeah, it's a scary reading, honestly. It really is. Yeah, so what I'm telling somebody on X is that it's a scary reading for sure, but sometimes the actual NFP report on Friday differs wildly from this. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, there's always variance. It's all good. ADP non-farm employment data, Carolina, comes out at 8:15 every time, markets. So 8:15 every time. All right, we still got 5 minutes until 8:30. Yeah, I still kind of want to buy this dip. Maybe I will. I'm going to take one micro contract, though. And just let that go. If it goes enough green in my favor, we will add to it. But if not, it's all good. That's better. All right, I'm going to just cut it, actually. I don't think I'm going to add to it. It's not worth the risk. We'll just play with it this way. Is he really? So did the president speak? I hear some people saying that. Okay, so the U.S. president did speak. And, of course, he's pushing for rate cuts with this latest release of economics. So the president just spoke. He said, ADP numbers out, too late. Powell must now lower rates. He is unbelievable. Europe has lowered 9 times. 9 times. Do you guys agree with this? Reuters poll. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not good numbers. I still think the market might rebound back up, though. We'll see. Yeah, I hope he doesn't do QE. I mean, again, Powell would have to do it, but I hope he doesn't do QE. This isn't a practice account. This is a funded account. Both of these were funded accounts. I'm down in one, up in the other. Yeah, I'm curious about the rate cut odds here. So let's take a look at these. We could also take a look at bond yields to get an indication of what rates, at least long-term rates, might do. Bond yields are opening up red this morning, which is understandable now based off of everything in the payroll report. Again, this is just prelim data, though, so like we're going to get the finalized numbers, and rate cut odds, at least short-term, have not changed at all. We're going to get the finalized version of these numbers Friday. Like Friday, we're going to get the finalized version of these numbers. Yeah, I type like 100 words a minute if I can't. Like I type like it depends, anywhere between 70 and 100 words a minute. All right, guys. So the prelim NFP data is out, by the way. Yeah, the prelim NFP data is out. We got a small rebound back up. I don't know if it's time to keep buying, though. We'll see. We also have ISM services data later on today, too. Now you see why I watch this stuff. Yeah, Bostic's going to be speaking in 1 minute. In 1 minute, Bostic speaking. Inflation is still too high with signs of going higher. So it's too risking to spark inflation higher. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. All right, so there's the rebound we thought we would get. We were just a little early, and that's all right. There's NVIDIA backup testing the two. Again, I truly do believe that this data is relatively insignificant if payrolls come out Friday. This data doesn't mean much. Something that I've seen a lot, and sometimes it correlates, right? Like sometimes the prelim NFP data correlates with the actual NFP data. Other times it's wildly different. Like we've seen the prelim NFP data again. Last time it showed up at 62, which was way under the expected. Just to show you guys. So last time the prelim NFP data showed up at 62. All right. Previously it was 62. The actual payroll report then ended up showing up at 177, higher than the expected. And higher than the previous time, I think. It might not have been higher than the previous time, but then the prelim payroll, or then the actual NFP data showed up stronger than expected, not weaker. And so it can differ in terms of the correlation. And so that's something you want to understand by this. That's why I wanted to buy the dip, and I think that makes sense. But yeah, we're wrong. Everybody's wrong sometimes, but we'll be all right. I might trade one of these challenge accounts, though. See if we buy a little pullback here, see if we get anything good on this. We're green on our actual funded account on the new dashboard. No, sorry, bumped mic. I'm gonna buy this. These are my, this is a challenge account, by the way. So, like, if we fail on this, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to buy into this, try to take some risks. We're going to get into 10. We got to trade larger on this thing for sure. I don't trade this big on my actual funded account. There we go. All right, I'm going to take some off. We got a nice little rebound back up. Look at that. Take a little bit more off here. Do I want to add to this? No, I don't think I need to. We'll add a piece of it. We got enough distance away here to maybe add. All right, we'll take half off. And then maybe we'll add another pullback here down to 80, 85 or so. But we got a quick little cushion on the day. I'm about 100 already on this, so slow and steady. I'm gonna lower this some though. We'll wait now. So yeah, up about 100. Are we looking at tariffs wrong? When tariffs cause inflation to go down, because in reality it's more of a tax. No. I would say it's raising prices on things. Here's the idea. Like, you got to think about it this way, right? Who are the businesses going to push the price, the increased costs on? They're going to put it on consumers, which means what? Consumers are going to have to pay what? Higher prices, right? So the tariffs innately cause higher inflation because businesses have to pay more. And in that regard, they push those increases on to who? The consumers. And then the consumers have to pay more, i.e. inflation. There is some music playing. You can't hear the music? But are you going to be spending more if you're already strapped for cash? If it's a necessity, you will. Yeah, tariffs are going to lower demand for sure. But theoretically, the end effect is lower inflation. I don't think so. I think no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to compete with China's pricing. It doesn't matter what we do. I don't think we're going to be able to compete with their pricing structures. I just don't think we're going to compete with them. Doesn't matter how good U.S. manufacturing is. I don't think we're going to be able to compete with them. I think the U.S. is too rich of a country to compete with Chinese pricing. And so, yeah, I don't think the net effect of it is going to be lower prices than we had prior to this trade battle coming in. I just don't think that's it. Correct. B. Weak labor market for sure. All right, so the Fed listens event's going on and Bostic is speaking here. Let me see.
The Fed Listen series is not a one-off. We don't make a show of hearing from the populace every 5 years and then cloister ourselves away. Instead, we are constantly in touch with decision makers.
This is Bostic right now.
From the business, civic, nonprofit, and education communities in big metro areas and in small towns across the 6th District. And the feedback we get from these sources via surveys, roundtables.
I mean, we'll see if he says anything good. The ADP number is definitely not good. It made the market react really negatively, Todd. But who knows? Who knows what we're gonna get? Turn down the music, bro. People were asking me to turn up the music. They said they're hearing me breathe. They turn down the music or turn up the music. I learned you can't please everybody on the internet. All right, so China just vowed to increase fiscal policy support for AI infrastructure. So music's good. All right, cool. The Fed speaker doesn't disappoint to a deep economic problem. Well, this is just the tariff impact, I think. You know, these are just tariff reactions. Tariffs are bad for small businesses. The large cap can weather the tariffs change. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, the market didn't like it. I mean, here's the negative reaction we got from the prelim NFP data. And we were pretty green prior to this. Like, the market was pretty solid. All right, the president also said in a late night post that it's very hard to do a deal with China. All right, guys, so we're still waiting here. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why people think AI is purely hype. Do y'all not see the capabilities of it? Like, I always wonder how much people, like, I'll put it this way. I use AI every freaking day in one way or another. And not just me, but my daughter does. As a high school student, my wife uses it even. And she's not the most tech-like person. And so AI has taken over a lot of different things. It's obviously going to continue to get better and better. And as that happens, it's going to continue to replace jobs. It's going to continue to get bigger in the tech space. I mean, I think these are very self-evident things that are incredibly obvious. So, I mean, look, we'll see what happens with it, but I think they're very clear that these things are going to, you know, happen. I don't think pretending like AI isn't real is necessarily the right move. And maybe that's not what you're saying, just, you know, to your credit, maybe that's not what you're saying. I had a lot of people prior to this big AI run. One of the things I was really outspoken about prior to this crazy AI run, I'm talking like years and years ago, was that AI was going to be huge. And then people would argue with me all day about this. They would argue with me about how AI is not really that big, about how it's a gimmick. They would say it's just a buzzword. They would basically say it wasn't anything, and like kind of like downplay AI, you know. And within a few years, AI ended up just
going crazy parabolic with most stocks, Nvidia specifically, and a bunch of other ones. AI use around the world upticked massively, and then I didn't really hear it for a while because obviously you can't really argue against it. I'm gonna buy this dip and think again in my challenge account. Let's see if we can get in. There we go. There we go. All right, so we got a nice little trade here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it right there. Oh my gosh, it is, bro. It is trash day. Thank you, bro. I gotta go. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go. Shame. Shame. Dude, I hope I didn't miss the trash. Bro, I really hope I didn't miss the trash. Ugh. Where's AI to take my trash out?
Ugh. I forgot about trash day, guys. Yeah, I think AI, dude, honestly, my back hurts too, but I had to run. I think I probably missed it though, but I'll be all right. That's what I look for, Mopar. They were not flipped, which I think is good. I didn't see one flipped. It's only 7:50 in the morning here in Texas. So I don't think I missed it, honestly. I think I'm good, but you never freaking know. So yeah, we'll see. Oh, dude, but my back is hurt. Yeah, I know AI is not going to take the trash out. I was joking. Yeah, he's basically old. My daughter's definitely old enough to do it, but she's not going to do it. Oh, dude, my back hurts, bro. All right, guys. So yeah, now we're at 696. We did rebound a lot from this, so the rebound was correct, but on the other account, we got it a little bit late, or a little bit early, I mean. I still kind of want to buy this dip. We'll start to scale in small on this one. There we go. We'll hold the rest break even now. Our entries have been good though. I'm definitely getting old, bro. All right, we're out. All right, we still got ISM data. John, we will... John, hold on. I'm trying to read this comment. John, we will when we get robots. Oh, you're talking about somebody... We'll get something to take the trash out. Okay. At first I thought it was like an error, but you're talking about we'll get something to take the trash out. Yeah, I mean, if I could have a Bicentennial Man-esque robot, I'd get one. All right, so the EU's Economy Commissioner Dombrovskis
said, I am seeing negative economic impact from tariffs. Negative economic impact from tariffs. You know what I've been watching? I've been watching the War and Peace TV series. Bro, it's so good, dude. War and Peace is a great story, honestly. Like, I've read the book once a long time ago, but the series is very good as well. Just a great story. Tolstoy, man, that dude was great. You know, just a good story, man. If you've never seen it, go watch. Let me see, what is it? The War and Peace. The 2016 series. Very good, very good. We're on the last episode now. We've already seen it. I've already seen it like 5 times, but it's very good. We need a trade bot. Well, there's lots of those out there. Yeah, but I think every man has beef with Roombas, Mama Pawn. I mean, I think that's honestly pretty standard. I hate mine. I don't trust him, to be honest. You know, he's riding around. I don't feel like he's really doing anything. He's just kind of riding around my house, living life. I don't think he's really picking up any debris. You know, I feel like he's just pretending to so he can live life in my house. Yeah, I turn the vacuum off all the time, dude. I hate that vacuum, and it bothers my peace. Like, I believe in conventional vacuums, you know. Yeah, he's an imposter. He's free riding in my house. That's how I feel. Yeah, the Roomba can get yeeted. Yeah, I agree with that, Pawn. Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't feel like it's really doing anything, and it just bothers my peace. It's loud, you know, is what it is. All right, so we do have this ascending trend line here. Yeah, you know, and just to show you, like, I don't hate all robots. We used to have a trash can that you could talk to. You could say, hey, open can, and the can, the top of the can would fly open, and you could throw trash in it, and then it would shut itself. I'll tell you what, sometimes I'll be at like my dad's house or somewhere, and I'll say open can to a conventional trash can, and I promise nobody looks at you crazier than when you start talking to the trash can. But I still miss that trash can. We don't have it anymore. We named it Eugene. Great trash can, you know. So I don't hate all robots. I just don't like the Roomba, which I think is probably pretty consistent with most husbands. I just don't trust it. Yeah, so we got services PMI later today at 10 a.m. So we have services PMI later. Yeah, services PMI, 10 a.m. That might move markets. It's expected over 50, though, so we'll see if that shows up anything good. We're kind of starting to really consolidate sideways neutral. Well, so Nick White. So when I say services PMI, I'm technically referring to the ISM non-manufacturing PMI, which is services PMI. Now we have the regular S&P Global Services at 9:45, but the bigger reaction is going to be at 10 a.m. with the non-manufacturing PMI, which is services PMI. That's what I'm talking about. I liked Eugene, though. I miss Eugene. We don't have him anymore. And the trash can I do have now in my kitchen, they have like custom trash bags just for it, but they're so tight into the trash can that it creates a suction. And so when I try to pull the trash bag up, it like sticks to the can and it suctions to the can and I can't get it out. I freaking hate our new trash can. I really genuinely do. Like, I do not like our new trash can.
This is my life now. No, that's what we're going to do. We're going to drill a hole in it. That's exactly what we're going to do, Todd. It's going to be like a carb for the trash can. All right. So we're at 21.7s here. Not a carb. Carb's the bad word. Yeah. That'll just create easier flow. Yeah. I'm not going to do it on the bottom. I'm going to do it close to the bottom, though. I don't want to do it on the bottom because if we get a leak, then it's just going to leak all over the floor. So, yeah, that was already planned. Anyways, but yeah, ISM services, PMI data. We got the opening bell in 30 minutes exactly, chat. 30 minutes exactly. We will see what we get today. Market's kind of slowing down, so we're talking about trash can technology. Could you argue this is a bear flag here, though? It's a pretty big one, but could you argue this is a bear flag? I guess you probably could. And we're also about to hit the 200 exponential, so if there is a short opportunity, it might be right now. You know what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna pivot to a short here. We're just gonna keep 3 micro contracts here. I think I'm gonna reduce the size a little bit actually though, because like it went against me pretty quickly. So us retracing back down, it's a little bit better. I'm gonna reduce the size here and then just add to it if it goes in my favor. We're basically flat on this position now. I just don't like how it went up there as soon as I got in. All right, we'll add our size back in here, basically break even. There we go. Nice. There we go. A little bit of a green trade. We'll add our size back. Slightly green. I mean, we're green on the trade now, but what happened to our internet, dude? Yeah, I don't know what happened to my internet, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, there's not really any big news, but something happened to my internet. It's back up now, but it cut out for like 15 seconds. Are we good? Can you guys hear me? I think you guys can. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Chat. Are we back? It's all my fault. It is my fault, guys. I mean, I don't know what did it, but hey, definitely my fault. We're still short in this position, though. We're kind of adding to it now. It's weird. It was just OBS, though. Like, my internet worked. It was just OBS. So some weird OBS issue. Yeah, first the trash can and now this. Can't believe this, you know. It's working now, though. We're back up fine. No, I'm not using Starlink. I got a fiber optic connection. If anything, I got I've got a multi-gig connection. So I've got like 2,000. Technically, it's supposed to run at like 2,000 megabits per second, but that ain't freaking happening. Usually it's like 12 to 1,300 megabits, which is still very good. I mean, you don't need anything over 500 really ever, but yeah. All right, we're short, and it looks like we were right about the short. Slowly taking some profit on this dip. Yeah, we got ISM Services PMI coming out at 10. We got 3 micro contracts left. Yeah, I'm running a hardwire connection. So let me know if the sound is bad or not. Sound check. Do you think it's realistic to make approximately $50 to $100 a day with day trading on a $5,000 account? I mean, you could try to. But let's talk about like percentages. All right, so we're up a couple hundred a day on this account. We've been pretty good and accurate on it, reading the direction well. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it right there. So let's talk about percentages. If you're talking about a $5,000 account, all right. Let's talk about percentages. Let me exit out of some stuff. I feel like I maybe have too much stuff up. Yeah, so in percentages, $100 a day in a $5,000 account is 2% a day. I mean, that's not freaking happening. You know? Like, listen, that would average 10% a week. You know, 40% a month. That ain't freaking happening. You know, and again, people might tell you can do it, but listen, the best traders in the world make 40, 50% a year. Some years. Definitely not every year. 30, 40, 50%. Best traders in the world make that. And so anybody telling you that you can make 40, 50% a month regularly, they'd be working at Goldman Sachs. They wouldn't be retail traders if they were doing that. They just wouldn't. You know, they'd make far more money working at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs would pay them $1 billion a year if they could make 50, 60, 70% every year. And so anybody claiming to that's on YouTube is just full of crap mostly, you know. Maybe there's outliers, I don't know. Like, listen, you can make 2% daily. Let's say 20 trading days in the month. Let's do the math. Let's say you got $5,000 and you make 2% a day. How many trading days? Well, let's do 100 trading days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 100 trading days, that 5K would get turned into 39,000. Or in 100 trading days. If we keep going here, though, it's going to start to get more and more profound as time goes on. You know, very quickly, if you continue this trend, within a few years, you'd be the richest person in the world or somewhere close to it. You know what I mean? It's just not feasible to continue this trend. As it gets bigger and bigger, the percentages increase faster and faster. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Anybody that's telling you that is probably just trying to sell you a course or a service of theirs. But that YouTube kid said he made 900% last week. Yeah, he's probably trying to sell you a course. I'm not talking about 2% every day. I talked about $50 to $100 in a $5,000 account. $100 is what percentage of a $5,000 account? Does anybody know? Listen, it's all love here, bro. I'm telling you, you're shooting too high. Okay, if you got a $5,000 account, try to make $20 to $30 a day, maybe. Even then, that's gonna be hard. The more you try to make per your account size, the harder it's going to be. Like, you got to think of it. Here's an example. Blackjack terms, right? In card counting, there's an edge in card counting, but it's about a 2 to 3% edge. In order to be safe, the smaller account you have, the less likely it is that you're going to do it. You know, so like an example of this, if you want to count cards, you need 1,000 buy-ins. 1,000 buy-ins to be somewhat safe from the variance that comes from counting. You know, you can relay that to day trading terms. The smaller account you have versus the percentage that you're trying to make, the higher percentage chance of a loss of total account. All right, like that's the math you got to do there. And a $5,000 account trying to make $100 a day in it is way too small. Way too small. Eventually trying to make that type of percentage on your account daily will eventually lead to you losing your account. You know, and even most of these people that do small account challenges, you got to wonder how many times they lost their account prior to succeeding. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you got to really look at and understand. And again, most of them are just trying to sell courses. So that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The point I'm trying to make is that the smaller account you have, the higher likelihood of a total loss of the account, depending on the percentages that you're making. It's pushing account too big, too hard relative to those percentages. All right, so the S&P and the NASDAQ are both within 3% of their all-time high. So that's good. Bro, AI images are getting out of control. I feel a plug coming. I guess I'll plug something. Listen, guys, you want to check out Top Step? It's the best way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, you're probably going to lose day trading. Now, you can either fund your own account, $5,000, and try to make 2% every day and probably lose it, or you could try Top Step. They give you a 50K demo. They test your skill with that demo first. This teaches you how to trade under pressure. You're still risking something at $50 a month, but not the full extent of funding your own account 5K and losing that like a lot of new traders end up doing. You could also get a 100K challenge. It's $100 a month. A 150K challenge. It's $150 a month. And there's no PDT rule in futures, so you can day trade, short, buy market, sell market. Very similar to day trading stocks. You can day trade the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. Beautiful way to learn when most day traders lose. And again, if you pass their test, you got to make 3K in profit on the base 50K win without losing 2K. So a 3-to-2 ratio. If you do that, they fund you 50K with a 90% split, and you get to keep your first 10K prior to that split kicking in. That's pretty similar to funding your own account as long as you follow their rules. And you want to confirm this all with them. I can't guarantee anything. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because I get paid by them. But great way to learn in a structured environment. If you fail, you're out $50. If you pass it, it's a pretty similar split to funding your own account, in my opinion. Great way to learn. And they've paid out hundreds of millions. They fund thousands. But understand this stuff on screen. Understand I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. You always got to make your own assessment. Trade smart. Can't guarantee a freaking thing. Confirm everything with everybody else. Sometimes we trade and lose off stream. You might not see it. Understand all this stuff here. There's the link if you want to check it out. Great way to help support the channel. With that said, though, NASDAQ is really tight right now. It's right at the 200 exponential, so I still kind of want to short it, but I'm going to wait. Hey, nice, Dr. Eric. Hey, what's up, MK? Thanks, brother. ADP data was bad. Definitely not good. But I think there's also a disparity between, sometimes there's a disparity between the prelim non-farm employment change data and the actual ADP, the actual non-farm payroll report. And so, while it's definitely not good, it's definitely not a good look. The NFP report might be different. We'll see. And thank you, Matt. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, sir. We also have ISM services data coming out, chat. So we're still creeping up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, most day traders lose regardless of where they go, right? I think technically it's a lot cheaper to lose here most of the time. I mean, there's always outliers in general. There's always outliers. But yeah, the ISM data is at 10 a.m.
All right, so let's talk about the difference between the ADP non-farm employment change, which showed up today and caused this dip in markets, versus the NFP non-farm payroll report by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. ADP data is in collaboration with Stanford Digital Economy Lab. It drops the Wednesday before NFP. ADP's payroll data is from 25 million workers at U.S. companies. It measures private sector employment only. It excludes government jobs, and it's considered a preview, but is not always aligned with NFP data. It's more volatile and can swing significantly, and often gets revised as well. The actual NFP report is done by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. It drops the first Friday of every month, which is June 7th this month. This is a government survey of almost 150,000 businesses and government agencies. It covers both non-farm private payrolls, including the public sector, like includes government payrolls as well. Look at this spike up in markets. It excludes farm workers, obviously, with non-farm and private household employees and military, but it's highly market moving because it's official and includes wage growth, unemployment, and other stuff. So that's what it is. That's the difference. Yeah, well, we're not always going to respect the 200 exponential, but we're over it now. We'll see if we get any catalysts here. But a lot of tech stocks are heading up with us this morning. Why do day traders lose? Because the variance is high. The variance day trading is noticeably higher than the variance in swing trading or the variance in investing. And that's why it's always like, you could tell the rookie traders just by how they act if I have a losing trade, right? If I have a losing trade, they're like, oh, bro, what are you doing? It's like, okay, you're new. Because like experienced people understand the variance is so high. You know how many people, like let's say I get into a short position. And originally when I enter that short position, sometimes what I'll see all these different people be like, oh, that's a terrible trade, bro. Get out of that trade now. What are you doing, bro? Stop going that direction and all this other stuff. And then it'll slowly go in my favor, like 30 ticks. And then the same people that were so confident about it going against me are just kind of silent and quiet. And so the point in this is like variance is incredibly high. Like I'm a poker player. I love poker. Poker was my first love of anything, any type of game like this. Poker's my favorite. What you start to understand if you learn like good poker is variance. Like you might have pocket aces and lose to 6-7. Very common occurrence. Is it the most probable outcome? No. But there's always variance that can happen and will happen. And if you don't prepare yourself for that variance, and if you act like every single time you have aces you have to win, you're going to lose. It's not going to be the correct play. And so you got to go into everything understanding it might be a good setup. It might be a bad setup. You might win on a bad setup and lose on a good setup. And that's normal. It happens. You got to be okay with that. But in the long run, if you're trading right, it'll play out. Like that's the way you got to look at it. All right, so the current administration said there's no viable path forward for the California high-speed rail project, warned it may rescind $4 billion in federal funding, according to the U.S. Department of Treasury. I really want to do the WSOP. I don't think I'm going to do it this year. I want to do it. Trust me. Like, I really do. Honestly, bro, they always do it, like, they always do it right in the middle of summer when I'm doing stuff. It's right in the middle of summer.
But I want to do it. It's a bucket list thing. I want to do the WSOP. All right, chat. We got 5 minutes into the opening bell. See if we get anything good. All right, so now we're back under the 200 EMA though, and this is a big red candle here. I would take. I would take this trade if it wasn't so close to the open. I might short this, but I'll wait. John, nice fancy new screen. What screen? Towards your AI trash can. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate it, brother. I do miss my AI trash can, dude. I really do. He was nice. Again, like I said, I still sometimes talk to trash cans just out of habit. You know, that's how it goes, I guess. The end of an era. Yeah, I'm trying to look up what he's disagreeing with you about, Sam. It seems like he's just trying to be critical and negative. So, all right. So China has reportedly introduced national rare earth magnet tracking system that requires exports to list clients and sales volumes, according to Reuters. All right, Chad, we got the opening bell in a minute or so, minute and 20 seconds. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. We got 1 minute, a little bit less than that now. Remember, we got ISM services data going live today, too, so just be ready for that as well. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. We're almost to 162,000, almost there. Listen, we got almost 1,000 people here. I'm not going to yell, but do it now or I'll hate you forever. Subscribe, do it now. How's your trade looking? Well, I'm down today, but we made money the last few days. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, there's the opening bell. So there's the opening bell. We'll see what the market gives us here. Yesterday, we had a lot of volatility at the opening bell. I'm going to put Apple up, and then Apple's shooting up at the opening bell, though. So look at Apple. All right, so look at this upward push. Nvidia's kind of sideways, but look at the NASDAQ rip. It held at the 200 exponential, though, so. Remember, at 10 a.m., we got the ISM services report. So we got ISM services at 10 a.m. Just be ready. We got Canadian services PMI. We also have the Bank of Canada rate decision coming out. I believe it's in 15 minutes. I think. So we have services PMI at 945 by S&P Global, I think. The big one, though, is the Institute of Supply Management, ISM. That one's at 10. That's going to be the bigger reaction, most likely, versus the regular 945 one. The big one's going to be at 10, basically. Yeah, they're going to pause rates almost certainly. The Bank of Canada specifically. They're pausing rates almost certainly. All right, so we opened up green and now we're pulling back a little bit. Nvidia's dipping down towards that previous closing price. So part of me wants to buy this dip, but it's too close to the opening bell. We're only 2.5 minutes in. I'm going to wait. We do have Meta ripping up. So Meta's pushing up this morning. HIMS is rebounding a little bit at the open too. I was thinking about buying this dip, but it's too close to the opening bell. I want to see if Nvidia bounces right at this previous closing price. That's kind of why I wanted to buy it. Is because Nvidia might bounce here at this previous close, and that might propel us higher. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, so Canada had a little bit stronger global services PMI. The imbalance was mostly positive. All right, so I might buy this dip now. A little close to the opening bell. I just think Nvidia might try to bounce at that previous close, and that might give us a little bounce, and there we go. There we go. We can hold this break even now and just try to let it run. You'll love to see it. We're gonna go ahead and cut that right there. HIMS is flying back up at the opening bell. Apple's starting to retrace back up. Yeah, so again, in 10 minutes we got regular services PMI. We got the Bank of Canada rate decision as well, dropping at roughly the same time. The big one, again, though, is going to be the ISM. It's technically titled the non-manufacturing report, but what it is services for the Institute of Supply Management. So that drops in about 25 minutes. We're going to try to let this settle some now, though. Do you think there'll be rate cuts in July? As of now, no, but you never know. Like I think it's going to depend on a lot of different things. Like a lot of different things. Specifically, it's going to depend on what payrolls show up as on Friday, what unemployment shows up as on Friday. Look at this big spike in markets. It's going to depend on a lot of stuff. So Wells Fargo CEO says they want to increase their dividend after the Fed lifts the asset cap, according to CNBC. Microsoft popping back up some. Good strength showing up. But the only way we're going to get a rate cut in July is if we get weak economic data mixed with price stability and good inflation, which is less likely. That's not the base case right now. But again, the only way we're really going to get that, again, we get like reasonable price stability mixed with like economic panic and weakness, which I don't necessarily think we're going to get. Like, you got to understand, in order for the Federal Reserve to cut rates, they need price stability and they also need justification for it. So like weak economic data. And we don't really, I mean, the data ain't good, but it's not the worst ever either. Dude, my back is hurt. Big green action here. I'm going to short a little bit of this. It's a little risky. We got a big cushion on the day, so we can just play with this now. I don't really like catching a falling knife, but we'll try. I'm gonna immediately take a lot of that off just because I can. I'm gonna cut that. Nice. Get out the rest there. Slow, steady. We're going to see a rate cut this year, probably one. It's going to be towards the end of the year, though. Third or fourth quarter, most likely. You never know. I mean, things are always subject to change, but I think we're going to get one. All right, U.S. Treasury Representative Greer says there's constructive engagement with the European Union on trade. Pleased that talks are advancing quickly with EU. This might be dragging the market up. All right, I kind of want to short this now that Nvidia's starting to head down, but Apple's still pushing up pretty strong. We'll try to short it here. We got a nice cushion in this account, so we're going to be fine no matter what, but... Oh, we just got in 5 contracts. I didn't realize I got in that big. I mean, we're very green, so I'm going to take a lot of that off. We were correct about the move, though. There we go. Take more off. Cut it. All right, so we're up about 300 on this account. That's good. Again, in 5 minutes, we got base manufacturing PMI. Or no, I'm sorry, base services PMI. All right, so we are seeing some green action here. Just broke the highs of the day again. Like, I might short this, but if it is, it's going to be like one micro contract, and then we'll add to it if we get favorable action. We have 3 minutes until the actual prelim NFP data, or no, I'm sorry, until the initial services PMI report comes out. And so I just don't want to get stuck in a losing trade waiting for this. I think we could also chop back down a little bit now, so one contract seems sufficient. We're going to cut it there. We're getting pretty close. Again, so the regular manufacturer, or the regular services PMI for May is expected at 52.3. 52.3. Hey, what's up, Bulldog? Hope you're doing good, brother. All right, so maybe I should have held this position here. I don't know. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, so we got ISM services PMI 10 a.m. The regular one drops in about 1 minute and 20 seconds here. I should have held that short position. I was right. But again, we also have the Bank of Canada rate decision dropping in about 1 minute. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Yeah, appreciate it, Bulldog. Y'all go check out Bulldog's channel. Again, we got 30 seconds, or I'm sorry, 60 seconds exactly. Yeah, later, Sam. Have a good day, bro. I should have held that short. All right, so here's the Bank of Canada rate decision in 45 seconds as well. Again, here we go. Services PMI. It was expected at, all right, 25 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. It's expected at 52.3. Previous was at 50.8. 50.8. All right, here we go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. So this data showed up for services PMI. I'm looking for it. Bank of Canada paused rates. So the Bank of Canada paused rates. Again, Bank of Canada pause rates. Still nothing for the report here. Market's actually up a little bit. Services PMI. Yeah, Bank of Canada pause rates. I don't see services PMI yet. They're late to report it, I think. All right, services PMI 53.7. 53.7. Higher than expected. So a little bit better than expected at 53.7. Versus 52.3. Global composite PMI showed up at 53. Services PMI 53.7. 53.7. I'll put this data up on screen, but yeah, 53.7. Previous was 52.3. This is a little bit stronger than expected. And honestly, the market did react positively, but the big one drops, remember, at 10 a.m. in about 14 minutes or so, chat. 14 minutes. That's the big one. All right, guys. Again, service PMI showed 53.7, 52, previous at 50.8. Hey, thank you, Bulldog. Appreciate it, bro. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Hope you're doing good. We're gonna do a poll now for ISM, the ISM services data. Will ISM service show higher or lower than the 52 expected? That's what I'm showing, 52. Yeah, 52 expected. Higher, lower, as expected. They're going to be the three options. Markets are reacting pretty favorably to this. I think what they're thinking is we're going to get stronger ISM data based off of the S&P global data. Again, Bank of Canada paused rates as expected. Microsoft's still pushing up though. Apple looking strong. Nvidia is the only thing weighing markets down though. Okay, so good. We caught the trash. I hear the trash cans now. We caught it. Good. I'm gonna buy this dip down here. All right, we got a nice little pop higher. There we go. So we're taking some off here. Maybe add a little bit to this, see if we pop even higher. There we go. Cut the rest right there. Here's my trades on this account. Pretty good. Still testing highs. Look at Apple and their strength on the right side here. Yeah, I'm glad they were late today. That's good. Bro, I'm not tipping the trash guy, bro. They're living life, man. They make so much money, dude. I'm not judging them. It's probably a hard job. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's not. All right. So Bank of Canada's Macklem says spending by Canadian families and businesses has shown resilience, but they are likely to remain cautious. It's still too soon to see direct effects of retaliatory tariffs on consumer prices. Businesses are generally telling us they plan to scale back hiring, and so far the U.S. economy has remained resilient as early 2 indicators suggest a rebound in U.S. growth as imports fall back and domestic demand continues to expand. There is some unusual volatility in inflation, but core measures suggest underlying inflation could be stronger than we thought. And so that's what's going on right now. All right, Chad, 9 minutes left until ISM services data. 9 minutes. Yeah. Thank you for whoever asked me. Did I take the trash out? All right, so services manufacturing data, or services PMI data, I mean, is expected at 52. 52. Doing our poll here, we asked people, ISM services show higher. 43% think higher, 35% think lower, 22% think as expected. Look at this dip. Something just happened. U.S. and UAE have agreed to start negotiations on a trade deal that could roll back tariffs. Whoa, what's causing this drop? I'm going to buy this. One micro contract, though. We're not going to take a larger than that. I'm going to add to this since we got so much green so quickly here. We're going to take that piece off that we covered and then lock that one in too. All right, guys. So we're over $300 in profit. We had jolts yesterday, so stronger than expected. Non-farm employment show worse than expected. 51.6 is what the previous ISM services data. All right, guys. Hey. We got a little rebound back up, but we are now about 6 minutes away. Bitcoin hit lows. Okay, I'll put a timer up, but the timer's going to say like 5 minutes. All right, here's the timer. That's how much time we got left. 5 minutes. Still looks like a pretty good dip buy here. I'm going to try to take some size. Well, we're pushing up a little bit here, but it's just such a small trade. We're getting closer to this report too. About 4 minutes away, so I don't really want to hold this too much. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Very quick trade. Apple's still ripping up. Nvidia's slightly green on the day. You can see the previous closing price for Nvidia right here. So all right, chat, we got about 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Oh, dude, my back is screwed, dude. Oh, I need one of those back things. Oh. I tried ice, it didn't help. All right, chat, we got less than 3 minutes. We got about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you fully catch up to the stream. Data's about to come out in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right, chat, here we go. ISM services data, 2 minutes. We'll see what this report looks like. All right, here we go. A minute and a half. We got about 1,000 here already. So appreciate the love. Make sure you subscribe. We cover all this stuff breaking as soon as it drops. So we cover all this stuff breaking as soon as it drops. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. All right, guys, 1 minute left. 1 minute left. All right, chat, 40 seconds. 40 seconds. All right, here we go. 20 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you catch back up. Yeah, June 12th, the robotaxi thing is happening, but it's just them implementing the robotaxis in Austin. It's not an event. All right, chat, we got about 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here's the report. ISM services 49.9. 49.9 versus expected 52. 49.9 versus expected 52. Worse than expected. Worse than expected. Look at this gap down in the futures market. And then we honestly got bought back up. But ISM services 49.9 versus expected 52. You're welcome. We covered this fast. You're welcome, chat. All right. ISM services / non-manufacturing PMI showed 49.9 versus expected 52. Weaker than expected. The market did not like it. And we are down pretty significantly from this report. Again, ISM services 49.9 versus expected 52. Previous of 51.6. So weaker than expected. And this is when the prelim S&P Global showed stronger than expected. But this just got balled up. Look at this dip. This is a really, really weird candle, honestly. Again, ISM services non-manufacturing 49.9 versus expected 52. Previous of 51.6. The NASDAQ is falling down now on this report. We'll see if it continues down. But look at that gap down quickly here. We're now under the 200 exponential. We're kind of trending downward here. We've had two bad reports today. Specifically, payrolls show up weak. Services show up weak. I'm going to short this. I think I have to. I'm going to take one micro contract, though. We're already up hundreds on the day, so like it's not going to be too bad if we lose here. But I don't want to lose. Let's keep going down. I'm shorting. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. No PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. No PDT restrictions, and they give you a 50K demo for the base one. They test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, the base one is $50 a month. It's not the end of the world if you lose it, versus funding your own account thousands of dollars and potentially risking that. The split is 90%, and you get to keep your first 10K in profit as well. And so in terms of split, it's very similar to funding your own account, but the risk is noticeably less. Great way to learn how to day trade in a structured environment, and they've paid out hundreds of millions. They fund thousands. If you use my link, go to TopStepX, you get zero commission, no PDT roll in futures. And most day traders lose regardless of where you go, but it's a lot cheaper to lose here than it is to fund your own account tens of thousands of dollars and lose that. Again, understand all these rules. We're basically flat on my current trade. But if you want to check them out, here's the link. Understand all the stuff on screen. Can't guarantee anything. Not an investment professional. And again, here's the data right here on screen. And then I'll put the link up for Top Step if you want to check it out. Great way to help support the channel. They're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. But if you want to check it out, there's the link. We're kind of flat here. We came all the way back down. So I'm still honestly kind of interested in this short. I want to see if we revert back down. We'll put the data up. Again, ISM PMI showed 49.9. So kind of weak. There's the data on screen right now. There we go. Keep on keeping on. There we go. We're going to take half off of there, lock that in, get out the rest right there. So, yeah, we're up almost 4 on the day, getting close to it at least. Still not quite 4, but still pretty good. I think shorting just made sense, considering everything, but man, definitely a weak services report. Apple's still ripping up though. Look at this. Kind of a hard day to make money in, I think. Yeah, services got beat up. I mean, and then tomorrow, chat, we got jobless claims unemployment report. Kind of want to short this almost, but I guess I'll wait. Should have shorted it, honestly. Yeah, so tomorrow we have jobless claims, trade deficit, non-farm productivity, all at 8:30. relevant data. We also have Kugler and Patrick Harker speaking, and then Friday we got the NFP payroll report. Big report, important report. So we'll see how that goes. I wonder when is the next semi-annual monetary policy report? Is it going to be in July? All right, Chad, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But listen, I love you all. Y'all be safe. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early, so just be careful in markets, chat. The market's been a little sketchy. As I always say, you can't guarantee anything. Not an investment professional. We're not liable if you lose. Make your own assessment. Trade smart, guys. Be careful in these markets. Markets are a little sketchy right now, I think. A little sketchy, a little difficult to make money in, but hey, that's the market sometimes. Services got beat up. Great way to help support the channel. Just hit the subscribe button. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow. And then we cover payrolls faster than everybody. So subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I love you all. Have a great day. Be safe. Are we still here? I think my OBS is lagging a little bit. I should have shorted this if y'all can hear me. I should have shorted it. But honestly, I hit end broadcast and it's still here. I'm gonna have to Control Alt delete this thing, man. OBS is acting a little off today. Can y'all hear me? I'm curious. My OBS is completely frozen right now. Okay, y'all can hear me. All right, look, I'm gonna just Control Alt delete this thing.